What's up, YouTubers? This is your boy Big Mentor Fan 12 coming to you with another video game review. And this time I'm reviewing Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle for the NES and Nintendo Game Boy. And it's by Kemco. And the plot of the game is that Bugs Bunny is on a mission to save his girlfriend from Daffy Duck, Raleigh Coyote, Sylvester Cat, and Yosemite Sam. Both versions has 80 stages in it, but the NES version, the last 20 stages are called the glitch stages. I believe that it is because the game ends at stage 60, and once you beat it, you're able to unlock the last 20 stages. Now, if that's the case, you can mention it in the comment section of the video. Now, with the enemies, there's just Daffy Duck, like I said, Sylvester, Wile E. Coyote, and Yosemite Sam. Now, Sylvester, there's four different versions to him. In the NES version, there's two black Sylvesters, a green one and a pink one. And now with the Game Boy Color, because of the Game Boy version, rather, since the Sylvesters since the game likes color palette, the Sylvesters are known as Sylvester 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they act just like the individual ones in the NES version. Now as far as like we could use like different types of weapons in the game, like pretty much boxing gloves, 10-ton weights, crates, safes, buckets, and you can pretty much collect the number of boxing gloves that's in a particular stage, and you can push the weights, crates, safes, and buckets into the enemies and stuff, or you can push them off a ledge so that you can have them land on Yosemite Sam or Daffy Duck and stuff. And then there's the invisible ink that you can use. It's pretty much like Starman and Super Mario Brothers, but in the NES version of Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle, the invisible ink only lasts 5 seconds, while the Game Boy version of Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle, the ink lasts roughly around 8 to 10 seconds. So I like the invisible ink in the Game Boy Color, in the Game Boy version rather. And actually, it lasts. The Game Boy version of Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle lasts 12 seconds, but the point is, I prefer the invisible ink in the Game Boy version. You know. Now, one thing that I could say that in terms of the boxing gloves, there's only a certain number like per stage. It's not in the like the first couple of stages, first 5 maybe. I don't know. I forgot. It's been a while since I played it, but you can carry a certain number of boxing gloves in a particular stage, and the number of gloves that you collect depends on how many there are in the stage. So you can carry 2 or 3. I think at the most, but you can still use them regardless. Now, one thing that you will notice about Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle, regardless if you're playing the NES version or Game Boy version, is that it will increase in difficulty. So pretty much later stages, whether it's stage 65 or stage 70, are harder than like the first 10 stages. Now the graphics and design of Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle is okay. It's decent. but the NES version has the advantage because it has a color palette to it. You know what I'm saying? And both versions of Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle, in terms of gameplay, both play exactly the same. There is no major difference whatsoever in terms of the types of weapons you use and the fact that Bugs Bunny can't jump and the behavior of all the enemies and stuff. Now the soundtrack is pretty decent, and another thing about the soundtrack is both versions share this particular soundtrack. I say, I, and I'll be honest enough to admit I do like the soundtrack to Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle. Whether you're talking about, I say well, both versions actually, they share the same soundtrack, and I honestly think that it is the best part of Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle. Now, the main gripe of this particular game is the fact that Bugs Bunny can't jump in both versions, even though the game is a platformer. Now this is something that should have been programmed into the game, mainly because of the type of game it is in terms of genre. Why couldn't they just put the have Bugs Bunny jump? You know what I'm saying? And the other main gripe is the fact that the Game Boy has no color to it, as far as a straight up color palette, as far as variety is concerned. These are like the main flaws that I have with it. To be truthful, is the Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle is okay, but it's one of those games to where once you beat it, you have no reason to play it again. And some people might not like the spike in difficulty in the later stages. Because I remember back when I first really started to play this game on the Game Boy, I couldn't get past stage 65. You know what I'm saying? That's how tough the later stages are. You know, but as far as the score, I'll definitely give it like a 6 out of 10. It's not totally bad, but there's certain things I do have a gripe with. Mainly the lack of jumping. I would say no jumping. You know. So with that being said, if you played Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle on the NES or the Game Boy, you can mention it. If you happen to like it, whether it is the NES or Game Boy version, you can mention that also. And if you like my review of Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle, you can click the thumbs up button. Don't hesitate to do that. And don't forget to subscribe. This is your boy Big Metroid Fan 12 signing off.